certain sense. But I do want you to be adversarial
Okay.
in the sense of trying to see if there's something I missed here.
Okay. I
And
will
welcome
be.
to all those who. Is this only on Kick?
Nope, it's on YouTube too.
Okay, so welcome to anyone who might have come from this so-called Think Institute.
Okay. Let me just edit the video really quick, the live stream. Let me just edit this title.
I thought Melanie had me today as far as infuriating irrationality, but you can always trust a Protestant to outdo anyone.
Wait, these aren't atheists?
No, they're Christian Protestants.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. I only talked to one and just
Oh,
the guy
okay.
with the mustache.
Okay, hold on a second. Edit video. Hold on. Protestant screaming match review. Okay, hold on. Sorry, give me 1 second here. What a miss. Presupposing, yeah, okay. Save. Multi.
I don't see any comments. I guess I don't have access to them.
Yeah, I'm streaming from OBS, so you gotta do the open chat thing. Okay. So I have the video loaded up. This is
You'll have to pop chats.
yeah, that's fine.
I can't do it.
Okay. Okay.
We should put us at the bottom here. Oh, well, you'll see how it formulates.
Okay, I'll figure out how to do it. I was surprised it was atheists. Ben doesn't mind atheists. Yeah, no, it's the Protestants. Okay,
That's,
here we go.
At Alex, how many X's? Just 2 X's. He leaves out several X's, but go over to Alex.
This guy's from Rhode Island.
Medeiros.
I was like, oh, Portuguese. He's like, oh, yeah.
Who? Which one? This one?
I was like, I'm in the land of the Portuguese, near Southeast Mass. He's like, me too. Rhode Island. And I was like, oh. I said, if the dollar falls, we'll trade linguis. He said, that sounds good. Anyways, I didn't ever even interacted with him or the guy in the middle. It was all the guy on the left.
This is the Portuguese one.
Yeah.
Yeah. How could I tell?
Alexander.
Oh shoot! Would you just put
See
it
the
up on
arm
the screen?
hair.
I'm never gonna get this.
I
can't spell your name with less than 17 X's.
You can also just type in Wi-Fi gospel; it'll still pop up.
Wi-Fi gospel. Search for Wi-Fi.
Maybe
gospel.
he would help Jeremy make some sense of the situation.
Yeah. He seems like a rational, like a...
The Portuguese have a kind of earthiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More sanity.
And then give him a super chat over there.
He may be
Yeah.
involved.
All right. You can also go to
Could be.
the
Who knows?
think.institute/partner. You just have to let us know if you do it in the chat so Joel can shout you out once he receives
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so
that's
before
good.
we get into it, Grace,
Sure.
do you know what presuppositionalism basically is?
I believe I do. Presuppositionalism is the idea that you have to presuppose certain things to have any rational ground worldview. And so you take certain things for granted and
No.
okay.
No. Presuppositionalism, theologically, there's this thing about presuppositions. Presuppositionalism says, it was started by Protestants who correctly said, like, I'm not going to justify how we got the Bible or church history because I can't, I think. And then they said, but starting from, like, in other words, like the worldview
Yeah.
that's grounded, they say, on the Bible.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
We don't question the Bible. But what we do is we compare that worldview to other worldviews.
Okay.
This usually fails with Catholics because then we'd ask, okay, so usually this is done with atheists to say, my worldview is better than your worldview because, like, so how they will say things like, how do you ground meaning?
Right.
Okay, and so they would say, I ground it on the Bible. What do you have? And secularists have a hard time answering those type of questions.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, Catholics don't have problems answering those type of questions. Orthodox also don't, although Protestant, this is generally a Calvinist thing, because Calvinism is at its core, I believe, fairly irrational, depending on how seriously you take it. But it kind of says that human reason is like, it basically takes us out of the equation, so that God is doing stuff without our participation because we're too fallen to participate, which makes it fairly irrational.
Okay. Okay.
For example, a certain Calvinist understanding of double predestination is like the perfect formula for atheism, because they will say before someone is born, God chooses to damn certain of the elect to be saved and others to be damned to hell, not based on anything. They imagine God before this person is born, just arbitrarily choosing some and damning others.
Okay.
And then when someone says, well, but that doesn't seem fair,
Yeah.
they just assert, well,
God's ways are not our ways.
God's so high above us, don't ask questions.
Yep.
In other words, STFU.
Yep. Okay.
Right, which all totalitarian regimes, which is why Calvinism descended into totalitarianism in Geneva, Switzerland, because it is crazy. So, anyways, it found its way into Catholicism through, of course, which group? The Irish,
Of
by
course.
way of France.
Mm-hmm.
Jansenism was French heresy. France is like connected to Ireland, and so it made its way across the Atlantic with the potato seekers,
Nice.
known as the Irish.
Thanks,
who
guys.
Then have now basically ruined the Catholic Church in America. Although the French have helped, and that's why New England is largely secular at this point.
Perfect.
By no group more than the Irish Christian Brothers that I worked for, who are now banned in the country of Ireland. They cannot set foot in the country of Ireland.
Nice job. Round of applause.
Good job, guys. Another Irish W. Anyways,
Calvinism is
So-
basically Zionist special chosen people for Protestants.
yeah, it's a weird, like, theologically it doesn't make much sense at all. I think politically it made sense or something. You know, that's what all Protestantism is in the end, is a bunch of rebellious people from the northern countries picking up on some crackerjack theological reason to steal all the church's stuff and claim it's theirs. But
Okay. Okay, here we go.
Mark, can you hang around for one more? We'll do one more.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
We'll do one more, and then we'll say goodbye to Mark, and then we'll maybe go a little bit longer, and then wrap up.
you should put yourself
guys,
to the
good.
right, because these
Ben,
guys on
Edward,
the
what's
right
up, man? Nice to
are
meet
almost
you.
non-existent.
Hey, Alex,
Okay.
nice to meet you too.
You're debating Destiny. I've debated Destiny before.
Nice. I don't know
Once.
if I've seen them, but I did know that you debated them. I'll have to go check it
Be
out.
careful, because I'm
You've done
also
a
in
few
a
streams
lawsuit
with
with
them,
him,
right?
because he is a
Oh,
dirty,
yes.
dirty person.
Whoa!
He is now no,
Oof.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
I did hear about that as well. Yeah.
He actually responded to the lawsuit. So
They heard about this? Who are these people? I've never seen them before.
Alex Medeiros, that name strikes me as someone I've heard.
You've
about.
seen him before, but he was on that guy, like, what was that guy's name? Steve? The Eastern Orthodox guy?
Yeah,
He's on, like, niche channels. But I know this is a bigger channel,
he
right?
kind of like runs little debates.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know. They're on many platforms.
Okay.
I don't think it's as big as it looks.
Oh, okay.
I got shut down real quick here by Joel.
Who's this guy's Joel?
Yeah.
Didn't you debate this guy on the line, or not the line, but wasn't it another show?
Who?
This guy with the mustache, didn't he say like the incest stuff?
No.
No? Okay. I'm thinking of a different guy.
Oh, anyways.
Wow.
Prayers for
Here's
Alex.
an interesting you could ask any lawyer. How not to respond to a lawsuit about
Wait,
defamation
wait.
by
Ben,
repeating the defamation.
Okay. That's fine.
That's all I
don't-
wanted to say.
That's fine. Don't bring it up here, because I don't want to. We're on a debate stream, and I don't
Sure.
want you to say something that's going to mess with the lawsuit or anything.
Oh,
like that,
sure,
so-
sure, sure.
Okay. So Ben, are you
Pussy.
a Bible?
What a fucking F slur.
What is he?
But
He
anyways,
doesn't care about your lawsuit. What he means is he doesn't want you to say.
He's going to be called as a witness.
He doesn't want
grow
you.
a pair. Grow a pair.
What he means is he doesn't want you to say anything about Destiny because he's going to debate him. So.
No, he's not debating Destiny.
Oh, okay.
The guy to the right of me here. The
Oh,
Portuguese guy,
okay.
is debating Destiny. Tomorrow, apparently.
Wow.
So I hope he wrecks him.
Yeah. What are they debating about?
But I guess Joel is concerned about his channel, as a lot of people who don't know what they're talking about do. He doesn't realize he's a control freak who he wants to worry about things he doesn't have to worry about. But
Yeah,
anyways.
it's your lawsuit. If you said something stupid, it's up to you. But okay.
Yes, but I don't want to be drawn into your legal situation with Stephen Bunnell. Okay, buddy. Wait.
Yeah.
But anyways, he could, whatever.
Okay.
It just was my way of trying to connect with someone on your panel. It's called social skills. You don't have them, but we find out why subsequently. Let's go.
Okay.
I'm a Catholic, so probably not in the way you think that's true.
Oh, okay. So then what are we debating tonight?
So I've encountered a lot of priest suppers. I'm not using that as pejorative. I'm not sure if you're saying you are presuppositionalists.
Yes. Yeah.
Mostly Eastern Orthodox ones, and mostly ones who don't, I think, even understand what the theory is behind it. But as a Catholic, I found it interesting coming across it. I do think there is some value to it, but at its core, I think you have a problem of circularity because you're saying the Bible is true because the Bible is true. I'm sure you've heard that before.
Sure, I've heard that. Not from a presuppositionalist, but I've heard it, yeah.
Well, that ultimately you end up with a circular argument if you take it literally. And so my question was like, so I looked in your description. I'm not sure which one of you guys put that up there. It's Joel, Alex, and Mark. Okay.
Yeah,
You said
Joel.
you're trying to show why, and I'm just quoting, show why Jesus is the only sure ground for knowledge, morality, and meaning.
Yeah.
I don't know if you mean Jesus in the sense of the logos, like that John uses it, but like, why wouldn't reason be a ground for knowledge, morality, and meaning? You don't need Jesus to know that it's like, whatever time, wherever you are, it's 12:30 a.m. here, right?
No, I would disagree with that, actually. I think you need Jesus. Yeah, I think you have to tacitly accept the Christian worldview, part and parcel, soup to nuts.
What he's saying here.
Yeah.
If he's talking to an atheist,
Yeah.
what he will say is, even the use of language implies things that you only find in Christianity. Such we've gone over this.
Yes,
like
I
logic,
understand that.
the intelligibility of the universe, etc.
Sure.
Okay. So, but
Yes.
right off the bat, he's saying reason. I said reason can tell you what time it is.
Yeah.
He said no.
He did say no. That's
Okay.
correct. He said no.
So I get that, like, sometimes I appreciate when people are like, yeah, okay. No. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like saying, like, okay, reason isn't gonna. I don't need the Bible to tell me that grass is green. And if someone goes, well, actually, you do. I find that interesting because it seemed that, like, okay, he's at least somewhat aware that this sounds crazy.
Yes, he is. Right.
That shit crazy. Now, the reason these guys will never have me on again, and they'll never have an intelligent Catholic on again, is because this routine only works with
Why member only?
atheists.
Me mad no chat.
Really quick, I just got a super chat. Raging Tomato sent $4.99. Thank you for the super chat. Why member only? I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was member only. Hold on, let me fix that.
She said, I'll answer the reason why it's members only. Grace has a mental illness that she's becoming more aware of, where she sabotages everything I do for no reason.
That may be
Right?
true,
Right?
but no, it's because I'm trying to figure out how to use OBS, which is a better way to stream. And
Could be that both things are true.
yeah,
I like that explanation.
okay, yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that is true a lot of the time. Okay, ZXV fixed it. Okay, it's not members
Almost
only.
never
mode.
does it work in my favor when you make an oopsie. Usually is in some ways sabotaging something I'm trying to do. Anyways,
That is true, but it is fixed
we can
now.
leave that to like maybe. Okay.
So
anyways,
you were
on.
saying that they're never going to have you back on again because they prefer to talk to atheists.
So Catholics agree that, of course, the Christian worldview contains suppositions that actually uniquely foster reason in a certain way, like higher order reason, science, the repeatability. For example, it's not well known, but Muslims believe, or say non-Christians, not just atheists.
Sure.
Muslims apparently actually believe that God, Allah, every moment creates the universe in its entirety by his will.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so there's no sense of secondary causes. If Allah blinks, existence ends, and then if he opens his eyes again, that's the idea.
Yeah.
They will tell you that. Okay, Christians do not hold that belief. We believe that there are secondary causes. Like the idea of there being laws of nature is not a problem. So that we can predict things in the future based on the laws of nature that we can see and do experiments on or whatever. Yeah. That's why Islam didn't really, when it concretized itself, when it finally came to its like form that it's had since like the 1500s.
Ugh, this is a dumb Ben stream. No one cares about Ben's debate. Only good thing on the stream is
science.
grace.
Unless you call trying to make a 140-kilometer long building in the middle of a desert science. To me, it's butt fuckery with a turban. But anyways, so this kind of shtick can work in a sense. Okay, so but the problem, the difference is like Catholics would say, yeah, we have everything you have, but also if you just go Bible, we would say, okay, well, we can talk about the Bible, but these people can't, right? Because if you say, where did the Bible come from? They go, oh, I don't know. No, shh. Right? Or who's, you know what I mean?
I know what you're talking about, because these kind of presuppositionalists, they like to interact with atheists because atheists don't make any sense when you get to the bottom of things, because you'll say like, well, what's your basis for truth, morality, etc. And they have none.
Like to believe that the world is intelligible is, I don't think, I mean, it's almost an intuition, but, we say, let's say you have a polytheistic religion.
Yeah.
So it says like, why was there a snowstorm? Why was this big snowstorm? Because the god of snowstorms was angry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We would say no.
Right.
No, we got rid of that stuff, right? It happened for reasons that are explainable through atmospheric whatever.
Right.
It may be that God's angry also, but that's not our explanation for weather.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So then we can examine these things without feeling like, oh, we're, you know what I mean? I'm pulling back the God's undergarments, right? Which people would say in the past, oh, when you do that, the God will get even madder at you. So there's a kind of irrationality towards it. They're just like, well, just pop some babies in the volcano, and I think maybe we won't have another snowstorm. Right. That kind of thinking that the world is essentially chaotic. Christianity and all the monotheistic religions in the creation story say, no. God is one. He created, and creation is good, and he set things in order. And there are problems, but they're not at the basic level.
Right.
Okay, so these people can argue against modern worldviews, which sort of, what they're saying is, what these things do is they import Christian things that are not like intuitive, as if they're intuitive, and then just go, well, we all believe that. And then so to critique that, like, why do you believe that? For example, all people are equal and of equal value. that's not intuitive.
No.
In the sense that
People used to not believe that.
Well, in the sense that it's very common for groups of people to feel like we're better than you and you're, subhuman. You see it all the time in Gaza right now.
Yeah.
So in order to combat that, you do need a Christian worldview. And if you just go, well, we intuit that, I mean, if you say, like, I believe in evolution, I believe it's the survival of the fittest, I believe that the fittest races survive, and I think that nature has a way, through the clash of different peoples, of sorting out those better from others. You really, from a secular point of view, couldn't really argue against that and say, well, of course not. We're all of equal value, especially when you get into, things like that in nature actually do get taken care of, like handicapped, unwell members of the group.
Yeah.
At a certain point, they are discarded and left for, they're used as like, okay, let's feed the lions and let's move on, because this one just doesn't. Jeremy seems to be an example of someone in the tribe like that.
True.
Just,
Yeah.
He's bird food and then worm food. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, why are we watching Ben's debate?
Hold on one
Let's
second.
talk
I have
about
it
you
in the
instead,
car.
Grace.
Hold on. I have
Meet any cute
Super
boys
Chat
lately.
TTS playing.
Watch any good movies. Buy a cute dress. Destroy any souls,
Sarah's hating on the debate. Sarah, she's hating on the debate tent. Sarah, you literally host debates for a living, girl. You need to pay attention and grow your mind. Also, welcome Jungian Shadow 4950. He's new to the stream. He's asking what this is. Currently, we're going over a debate my dad just had with some presuppositional Protestants. I'm Grace. This is my dad, Ben, or over here, depending on how you're watching. But
I appear in two places here. I'm reviewing myself.
yes, it is a self-review. It just happened, and apparently there's some heat
I
coming
need
in.
Therapy.
Yeah, because apparently there was just
Me on the
Bible
screen
verse
was not treated
screaming.
right. Me here is getting some healing.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry.
People might find this because this debate only has 1 point, goes back and forth until I blow my top.
Okay, that sounds.
He boots me.
That sounds good.
But anyways, it's not really theologically very deep. But go ahead.
At the center of it.
So if I go back to my example, you would say that you cannot ascertain what time it is unless you're explicitly a Christian?
You can't justify your belief that it is X time without tacitly endorsing the Christian worldview.
But you must realize.
Can I ask a question real quick? you were kind of alluding to precept being
Mark coming in with a broom.
But you understand, I'm trying to be gentle, but like, you must. What he's saying is something like time. I guess I could see it this way. Something like time. This isn't really what we got hung up on. Something like time is only understandable through a Christian worldview.
Right.
Okay, but it wouldn't be clear at all how something like time would only be possible for a Calvinist. But also, I just don't even think like days, being aware that days are, repeat themselves in stable intervals. I don't really think you need to be anythingist to recognize that. It's relatively arbitrary that we split it into 24 uniform hours.
I mean, I get what he's saying in the sense that
I don't think it's a gotcha on like atheists to say it's 1:26 a.m. and go like, well, you only say that because the Bible. It doesn't make any sense to someone. Anyways,
I do get what
how
you're
these
saying.
Protestants end up being atheism factories because
And ruin the stream.
a person
The
would say,
gambling was way better.
That's obviously not true.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I get what
go
you're
into
saying,
it a
but
little deeper.
I also get what he's saying in the sense that, okay, in order to believe in a foundation of reality, there's an implicit belief in God in the sense that there is one creator who makes and sustains everything. That's what he's saying in a larger
pagan
way.
religions, the idea that it was like the third hour of the night, like you find this in paganism. They would have these sundials and they would mark the hours on the sundials based on the sun. And Christianity didn't really improve that.
Yeah.
The regularity of time, in some ways, Christianity promotes that, but like, I don't think you need it
Yeah.
to believe in time. But, you know, one could say like, well, you know, you could say, what is time, blah, 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 but
Right. Yeah. I guess
you could also say like, well, how could time have begun unless it had an explicit beginning, which is part of the biblical worldview? Okay, that's true. That's that's the Kalam argument.
Yeah. Right.
True, but you know, to say that we have a convention that like the time between the middle of the night and the middle of the day, noon and midnight, is split up a certain way and that we can ascertain it without being Christians is foolish, obviously.
Right. And it makes him sound stupid, which is why Mark is coming in with the broom
that
here.
wrong, but that you need to be a Christian in order to like work with that is foolish.
Yes.
It's obviously foolish.
Circular.
Stupid. Yeah.
And but then you just said that why can't reason justify reason? How is that not circular?
Did I say that?
I think you did. I'm pretty sure you said that.
Oh.
I mean, unless I heard you wrong.
Oh, I see what you're saying. When I was saying this thing about why reason is the sure ground for knowledge, morality, and meaning.
Right.
I mean, yeah, that is. I'm just. That's not saying
that
would be the ground for reason.
I'm getting so confused. Okay.
Mark.
Wait, say that again?
I quoted their, I guess it was Joel's sentence. We want to show why Jesus is the only sure ground for knowledge, morality, and meaning.
Yeah.
And I said, well, wouldn't Jesus be the ground for knowledge, morality, and meaning? And he said that's circular. I wasn't saying that this is circular. I would just say that this is incomprehensible.
Right.
If you're talking about Jesus of Nazareth, he a person is the sure ground for knowledge, morality, and meaning. I have no idea what that means, but if you talk about him as the second person of the Trinity, which Protestants generally don't do, though they should, then okay, you could say that.
Yeah, okay. When you sent me that sentence, I was like, I also don't know what that means. So I get what you're saying, yeah.
It's like the kind of thing that Protestants will just say that I think is utterly meaningless. And when I was a Calvinist, I would hear this. You know, Jesus is the only sure ground for knowledge, morality, and meaning. Right, Grace? And then it's like, what does that mean? How can a person be the ground for knowledge?
Yeah.
Wouldn't reason be? But you could say Jesus' teachings are the sure ground, but Jesus is the ground of knowledge. I don't know what that means.
I agree. I also don't know what that means.
Or the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus are the only ground for meaning. Okay, sure. But you have to kind of, I would not say that like so blandly.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah.
What they're saying is Bible. What they mean is Bible.
Bible.
They equate Jesus with Bible because they have this word, the Word.
Right. In the beginning was the
second person
Word.
of the Trinity, Word, the Logos. And they go, oh, Word. Oh, that's this. This is the Word of God. Kind of. Not in that sense. But anyways.
Yeah.
It's irrational. But anyways, so Mark over here with the bloated pink face says to me, you said that is circular, which I did not say. And then he said, oh, but you just did something circular by saying reason is the sure ground for knowledge, morality, and meaning, which also is not circular. But
that's correct. It's not circular. But you also
reason is not knowledge, morality, and meaning.
No. But you also didn't.
But I also
you didn't say that.
But I would say the intellect is, or something. No, I did. I said what common sense would hold, that reason is the ground of much of this knowledge.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Jesus is the ground of knowledge. So like I learn a new species, like I find a new species of spider, and that's grounded in Jesus, a person, Jesus of Nazareth. Doesn't make any sense.
I agree. That doesn't make any sense.
Is that your
Statement.
position? I guess is maybe.
I think that you can have knowledge, morality, and meaning without being explicitly Christian. I think that's obvious.
Is that your position, that reason is the ultimate foundation, reason itself, for epistemology? Or what is your
epistemology is the study of knowledge?
Correct. What is?
I don't think only Christians can study knowledge.
No,
epistemology.
Yeah, the way that we would put it is non-Christians can count, but they can't account for counting. So what is your actual position? Like, what is your epistemological and your metaphysical foundation?
Well, so as a Catholic, I mean, we would use something called, like, say, for example, natural theology. We would say that you don't need to start with the Bible because obviously you have to get to, most people would have to get to the Bible. And so how would you talk about the Bible if you're not in the Bible? Like, isn't that obvious?
Well, it's obvious that not everyone starts with the Bible. John Calvin recognized this. He said he didn't know what comes first, knowledge of God or knowledge of oneself.
Bye, Sarah. Thank you for the donos. Thank you.
Obviously, not everyone is born with a Bible in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But that's not the argument. And so the argument is not about temporal, like which one you...
NIDD_Y says, truth equals Jesus. If truth is reality, then Jesus equals foundation of reality. Jesus as the source of all true propositions.
Doesn't make sense to me.
The person Jesus Christ?
Jesus was incarnated in the bosom of the Virgin Mary. Prior to that, people didn't have knowledge. There was no Jesus prior to the incarnation. So,
right.
What would anyone be talking about there? I mean, that seems ludicrous and irrational. It's not really offensive. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Meaningless. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Come to first temporally. It's rather which one.
But he's doing this thing, which is weird, because actually the one thing presuppositionalism can't do is justify its presuppositions. That's why it's called presuppositionalism. It's saying, given this, we do all this great stuff.
Right.
Okay? But it won't question. It's like, don't ask questions about this because, like, look up here. Look at what it makes. Okay?
That's the whole point.
So presuppositionalism is, in a sense, saying openly, we presuppose tons here.
Yeah. We just assume.
But let's compare the entirety from those presuppositions, what we get on top of them.
Yeah.
And compare it with other things. It's not about digging deep to the depth of presuppositions, because of course you would say, well, what justifies belief in the Bible? And their answer is how it makes us great people.
Yeah.
Not anything deeper than that.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They would say it's fruits, not, we're not here to talk about that. Where the Bible comes from, or how did it get compiled. It's a Protestant move of trying to say, like, let's just avoid the subject and talk about worldviews, which is fine. But he's actually using it here in its worst form, which is saying, I don't know. And it's a funny way in which all Protestant things end up doing the opposite of what they say they're going to do, such as like the whole like theory of grace, not works, ends up with the Protestant work ethic, which is entirely focused on works.
True, yes.
So no big surprise when it turns out like what you're saying is the exact opposite of what you thought you were. It's usually a sign that your brain's not working right. There's something unreasonable going on.
I hate to detour, but the reason that's true is because they have this theory that if you are chosen by God, the way you know is through your works. So it does end up being through works, even though it's supposed to be sola fide.
Well, they would say, yeah, you are chosen by God arbitrarily, not because you're a good person.
Yeah.
And like you could even have like pure Calvinism would say you wouldn't even be able, you're so fallen, you wouldn't even be able to know if you were chosen,
Right.
and it wouldn't affect your behavior whatsoever.
Right.
So actually, that version of it, which actually is logically consistent, would be, fuck it,
Do whatever you want.
right? Like,
Yeah.
what do I care? We're also fallen. Why should we follow anything? God's going to save us no matter what we do. And it is that if God chooses you, no matter what you do, you are never going to be not part of the elect.
A true Calvinist is
they
kind of
read
like
mystical stuff as literal. And so there were versions of it that said, okay, the more sex, drugs, and rock and roll, the better. And then they had to put the brakes on it because they could see like, doesn't look cool. But actually, you like that form of it because if you're gonna be crazy, just be. If God is a complete asshole and hates you, then why should you bother?
Yeah.
Because you can anyways.
Right.
And you would never. In fact, God would never even. We wouldn't be able to understand what he's saying anyways. So, his whole world is a kind of like God's own sort of masturbatory thing going on with no relation to us because, right? Like, really, if you take this seriously, there is a gap between us and him.
The Venn diagram doesn't cross over.
There's no crossover.
Yeah, his ways are completely different from our ways because we are so fallen.
So how would we even know in any way? Okay, but then of course they end up like all groups being Catholic and saying like, oh, of course the elect will know that they're the elect. And then the question is, well, how will they know that? We would say through baptism and growth in virtue. They would say, no, God's, whatever. Right. It ends up being kind of like by how fruitful. And then they go into actually like how much money I have.
Yeah.
Which is a return to the Old Testament, early Old Testament view of God blesses you with lots of wealth. And so Calvinists ended up being industrialists who treated workers terribly and all the rest. So anyways.
Yeah.
It becomes this crazy kind of incel world. I don't know. It's bananas,
Yeah.
But the point here is, I forgot what I was saying. Whatever. You were asking a question.
Calvinism, precept.
No, but I know what he's doing. He's now saying like presuppositionalists are really into core epistemological beliefs, which they're not.
Oh, yes, yeah,
So
right.
It has become its opposite. And because you put a Catholic against a presupper, the presupper by his nature says, I only go this deep. The Catholic's willing to go all the way down and say, yeah, like, we're not presuppers. I can talk to someone without saying, hey, first you have to be within my worldview. I can talk to anyone with any worldview. And based on their experience and reason and things we hold in common, I can build.
Right.
With the participation of the Holy Spirit, of course, but like the Holy Spirit gives the gift of inclination to reason to some who then you can move to the position where they then become Catholics. But you can also just say like being a Catholic is great. Do you know what I mean? And you should be one, and I don't know why you aren't one. That's like I was reading about. Like you could make the argument that Chesterton is sort of a presupper in that sense. Like it's great. Like, what's your fucking problem?
Yeah.
But it's not like rigorous in that sense. He's not saying
he won't. He's not following it all the way down and like going.
He's not. It's not a philosophical system. It's just a rhetorical. And I like that to say like. It's like, remember, or also in the Brideshead Revisited, Evelyn Waugh, through the character of Sebastian, said like, oh, it's so boring that you're talking about whether it's true or not. Isn't it lovely? Isn't it just lovely?
Yeah, right.
Right. So that's a kind of, and you could say it's not a presuppositionalist argument, but it's a kind of worldview.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a comprehensive, even if it wasn't true, isn't it lovely?
Which
Right?
is
So
actually
it's like
valid
sort of
because if something
an
is
aesthetic argument.
yeah,
For, in its totality.
but it is actually valid because if something is true, it will also be beautiful and good.
Yeah,
So-
it's not that it's invalid, but it's like you can't really prove from beauty. It just doesn't belong in the same category as this type of stuff.
Yeah.
So, well, I have no problem comparing worldviews.
Yeah, right.
If you just go to a Catholic church and you go, seriously, you know, you like to a Hindu, like you guys have like monkeys and rats crawling up the wall. Like, are you serious? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
You come to first temporally. It's rather which one is logically prior. So it's not which one's temporally prior, but which one's logically prior. So what the presuppositionalist says is that reason is a valuable tool, just as sense perception and just as intuition. These are valuable truth-seeking faculties. But the reason why we believe that they are valid truth-seeking faculties is because we have a prior undergirding belief in the truth of the Christian worldview.
okay, so but those who don't
can you
believe,
just say, like, he talks about intuition,
Yeah.
sense perception, and what was the third one? Reason.
Yeah, reason. Mm-hmm.
As having something underneath them, which is a biblical worldview.
But how would you become a Christian without using those faculties in the first place?
Those faculties, sense perception, is not any different with the Christian worldview and any other worldview.
No.
Neither is reason, neither is.
And
But I mean, I guess what he's trying to do is he's taking things which, generally from a Catholic point of view, we would hold to what's like called natural theology and say these are just intuitions.
yeah.
They're not. There's nothing beneath them, but they are, like, in a sense, the starting points.
Yeah.
And then we can get to Christianity. I guess what he's trying to do is incorporate them and say they're further up, but they imply Christianity. And I don't know how that makes any sense.
Redwine 65 says the Christian faith is not a conclusion reached after evidence, but the starting point that makes interpreting evidence possible.
It's the former.
It is a conclusion reached after evidence, because how could you believe in Christianity without?
Well, I mean, not. It's different if you're cradle, but if you're non-Christian,
Sure.
You are given evidence. I mean, we would say, of course, there's a see. This is where I think Calvinists and Christians, Catholics have a lot in common. We would say mystically, in a certain sense, without the Holy Spirit leading us, we wouldn't even be inclined to learn about God. That's a Catholic teaching.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Otherwise, we'd just be sitting here, you know, doing what Jeremy's doing out there, whatever, right? It's just awful.
Yeah.
Or trying to get our rocks off or feed our bellies or whatever. Like,
Sure.
That's the fall.
Sure.
So God works with us, but he works with our natural faculties. That's so obvious. And so you say, okay, what is Christianity? Okay, I've heard about it. Here are my perceptions. Things have gone in my life. My goldfish died, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I might ask my parents, like, where did the goldfish go? Or grandma died, like, where did she go?
Right.
And your parents go, she went in the dirt, shut the fuck up, right?
Right.
And you then might say, well, I don't really think that's true. So let me look into Christianity. I'll talk to my Christian friends. And they go, grandma did not go in the dirt. She has an eternal soul. And you go, okay, that sounds right.
Yeah.
But what about the fact that she still is in the dirt? And, you know, I mean, you see people asking these questions.
Yeah.
Christianity can, at least Catholic Christianity, can answer these questions.
Right.
And it's perfectly compatible with reason, which is very important. It in no way shuts down reason, but then it asks certain things, you know, in a certain sense, you could say that require a little bit of faith. Although you can almost rationally prove that Jesus died and was resurrected, because of the historical evidence. It's an interesting thing that Protestants have tried to do. I think mostly. You can't quite get there to like 100% rock solid proof, like the air I breathe, but it's close. So, anyways, it's thoroughly rational, but at a certain point, Newman called it like, at a certain point you have these cables of probability, like which each of which might not hold you.
Yeah.
But if you have a cable made of weak strands, it becomes enough to say like, okay, I'm going to like pull on this, and it will hold.
Yeah.
And then as you grow in faith, if you're able to be educated, those will strengthen. But then experiences you have might make you question it or whatever, but will only make it stronger in the long run. So the idea you can only make an inquiry once you're a Catholic or Christian is just absurd.
Yeah.
I don't know what that person would be saying.
That's absurd. I didn't think people really believed that, but okay, let's see this guy defend it.
Even the Christian worldview, are you saying they don't have sense impressions?
No, obviously not. What I'm saying is they can't justify their faith in their sense perception.
They can't justify.
Correct.
But they were just.
That would mean that like if an atheist sees a red balloon and a Christian sees a red balloon, the Christian can justify their sense perception of the red balloon, but the atheist can't?
There is no, you can't do it.
That doesn't make any sense.
And you can be wrong. Your sense impressions can be wrong if you have a fever or you're Jeremy. You can not, I mean, you can get it wrong, and it just is like you have a sense when you're off that it's off. Some rarely.
Yeah.
Rarely do you really think, wow, it's super hot in here. When you have a fever, you might say it's super hot in here, and someone walks in and they're like, dude, it is not hot in here. And you're like, okay. But even then, I think when you have a fever, you have a sense that it's different than being hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. True.
But maybe a little bit you could be off. Like there have been people who have been like out in the cold, and they're like, good God, someone's got to turn the heat down, right? And then they die 2 seconds later because they've lost.
Yeah. Right. That can't happen.
Dude, it's 20 degrees out here. You're about to die.
But it wouldn't matter if he was an atheist or a Christian.
Yeah, the reliability of sense impressions is not grounded in the Bible.
Yeah.
It's buttressed by the Bible, I guess, but not really.
Yeah.
The Bible takes it for granted that sense impressions are reliable.
Yeah, right.
So the other one was intuition. But anyways, we go into one. I go into one specifically, which is I've done with you before. But go ahead.
Okay.
Be intuition, right? All systems have certain intuitions. Like, for example, that we exist is an intuition.
Intuition is another truth-seeking faculty that does need to be justified. Why would you think that your intuition is, well, that's an assertion. Why would you think that your intuition is reliable or aimed at something called truth unless you tacitly or explicitly endorsed?
Okay, well, I mean, just to use it's stupid philosophical hypothetical. If I said, I think we're all in a dream right now, there's really no way to disprove that.
Yeah, that's fine. We can table that for now, but why would you
So you don't have you have to justify the intuition that we exist. You can't, in fact, justify it.
Defend that claim.
I'm saying you can't. No one, Christian.
Yeah, what he does
anything is he's saying you need to do something that I'm saying you can't do.
I understand that.
Keeps
yeah.
repeating, you have to do this because. But this would work also. Like, it doesn't make any, like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. This is like the Andrew thing. I think they get lost in this loop of saying, you have to justify that. Because it does work with people who can't justify claims that do rely on a biblical worldview, such as that we're all created equal.
Sure, yeah.
So how do you justify that?
Right.
Okay, that works. Intuition by its nature is not justifiable. That's what it means.
Right.
It's nothing underneath it.
Right.
There's nothing underneath intuition.
Yes.
And he goes, well, okay, what's underneath intuition? And I go, nothing, obviously.
You're saying it's
See
you
how this is gonna
cannot.
go.
You're saying you cannot.
A basic intuition.
Shh.
That we are all created equal. You could argue that all human beings are equal in some fundamental sense. You could say there's an intuition sort of there, but it's I would not say that natural man gets that instantly when he sees people who don't look like him, don't act like him, don't talk like him. I think we are tribal. So I think our intuition is, I think in a sense, our intuition there is a mixture of the intuition that we're all human, and also people who don't look like me are dangers. And I do think you could say that's evolutionary if you want to. I'd say it comes from the fall and is natural. But the idea that a chocolate black man from Uganda is equal to me and is, if I've never seen one, I don't think that's an intuition.
Yeah.
Maybe if you interact quite a bit, you get that intuition, but I think it's Christianity that gave us that as an intuition.
Yeah. But it's so ingrained now that we just
I mean, you could say
assume
there's some sort of proto-intuition, but it's not like I exist and I'm not dreaming right now.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
So you're saying the fact that we exist is an intuition, which by its nature cannot be proven. Cannot be justified.
I don't think it's an intuition that in order to have sex you should be married. I don't think that's an intuition. I mean, I think there is an intuition about that, but it's
I get
the mixture is like, I don't. There's also a huge impulse to just have sex, and it feels really terrific, even if you're not married. So
yeah.
I think there's an intuition, but it needs to be developed. So I think if someone holds a very high level, or like for example, this I think is a good one, maybe better than those. The intuition that even great pain and suffering would not warrant ending your own life.
Yeah.
Through euthanasia.
Yeah.
I do believe there's intuition, but like that requires a good amount of theology too, if you're in a lot of pain and suffering, because we do it to animals regularly.
True.
Without thinking twice about it.
True.
And I don't know, without at least a kind of proto-religious view of the sacredness of human life and the authorship of God of life and death, which are pretty, theological, that you could really make an argument if you're in immense pain and suffering, not to either end it yourself or end it on behalf of someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think that is something which requires, and non-Christian cultures generally do have kind of exemptions for that.
Yeah. Yeah. But
they don't hold out till the last minute.
What you're doing with him right now is you're saying there are some unjustifiable intuitions. For example, that we exist and this is not a dream, this is reality. And he's saying, okay, justify that. And you're saying, no, the whole point of what I just said is that I cannot justify it.
It goes on, right? You're, believe me, you adding to this is, believe me.
Okay.
This is all the only point that ever gets made.
Okay.
But it doesn't get
perfect.
Can justify certain intuitions, such as that we exist.
So defend that. What's your argument for that?
He keeps
That's your conclusion. What premises leads you to that conclusion?
My argument is you can't. Well, if you want to give me something underneath that, you can. But there is nothing underneath that.
So it's just a brute fact, an uninterpreted fact. It's just
yes.
The way
You know how
is?
our Lord said, "Be like the little children." Children don't need to justify. Like most children understand intuitively, there's a right and wrong. They don't really argue whether there's a right or wrong. They just they have a conscience and they express their conscience. They may get it messed up, but many of our experiences rely ultimately on intuitions.
What is your argument that intuition does not need to be justified for us to trust it? Like what is your actual argument? What are the premises?
What are the premises of the argument?
Well, you're stating a conclusion and you're expecting me to agree with it, but you haven't demonstrated the truth of it. So I'm just wondering, like, why do you believe that? Like, give me an argument.
I'm saying no one can possibly
Yes.
come up with something beneath certain intuitions, such as that we exist. You can't even theoretically justify that other than through intuition.
Okay, so the statement "you cannot justify your intuition"
No one
is
can.
right. That is a conclusion. I'm looking for on what so let's put it this way.
You want to put in a
You're-
syllogism?
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Okay,
do you
so
have an actual argument that
most
leads to the conclusion
things-
you can't justify your intuition?
Okay, I'll put it in a syllogistic form. Most phenomena can be justified by prior. I think the word is logically deeper things, but
Instead of justified?
justification has to, like, people use this word justify. Okay, justify means to make just, to order properly. It has to do with the relationship between man and God, usually. Although people will say, how do you justify your behavior? Okay, meaning make it make sense.
Yeah.
It usually has to do with morals, just, unjust.
True.
So it's the wrong term here.
Justify your claim. Yeah, that's true. More like
You
explain.
can sort of stretch it to be like, you need to justify your claim, but that comes out of law, I think, because you're trying to justify someone's actions. Anyways, it's stupid. How do you explain it?
How do you explain
like,
it?
this is
Yeah.
a use. This is getting into the grounds of jargonophilia, which is
True.
a mental illness
True. That is true.
that presuppositionalists have.
Yeah, they do.
At a certain, some phenomenon cannot be justified by anything beneath them, and that would be obvious.
Whoa,
It would have to
wait,
be
hold on, Dad.
something.
You gotta say to me, pause the video, because I get confused who's talking. Because you sound just.
But don't you understand? Like, you can explain things through laws of nature, logic, math, right? But there has to be something that is at the bottom that can't subsequently be, or else you'd have a reductio ad absurdum of explanations to all infinity, right?
Yeah, right. That's true. There has to be
So
something.
like
at the
a
bottom.
person is a complicated, right?
Yeah.
We're physiological, we're spiritual, all this kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
somewhere at the core, there has to be an end to the explanations, and there just is a core reality that can't be explained. But the idea that you have to explain everything eternally is absurd. There have to be things that you can't go further than.
Yeah, logically,
They are
yeah, there have to be.
Givens.
Yeah.
They're givens.
Yeah, like the fact that
You know
we
what I mean?
exist.
Yeah, that's what I go with this guy.
Yeah.
He does not get that point at any point. Basic intuitions.
Okay. Ben, would it be fair to say that you intuit the reliability of your intuition?
Yes, I think that's true.
Do you see the problem with that?
No.
Red wine. My dad is not an atheist. He's a Catholic.
What did you say originally when you came on here? What did you accuse the presuppositionalist of? Do you remember?
Circular logic.
Correct. Do you want to go ahead and retract that accusation?
He's lying,
now?
of course, to say I accused. I just suggested. But anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
It's different
You
than
could say this
circular.
liar
Fat Mark and Idiot Joel have now engaged several times in lying. And we know who the father of lies is, the devil. So we know who we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
Alexander has not said anything like that, but we are dealing with people who are demonically motivated to lie for no reason. Because, and you get a sense when people start lying that they're not having a conversation.
True.
They're trying to win because they're losing.
True.
I didn't feel any need to lie. Logic to say there are just some things that you can't justify. I'm not saying they're justified by justifying them. There's no circle. It's just saying there are certain, you could call them brute facts if you want. That's fine.
Let's try and maybe we can get at this from another angle so you can see
Sure.
the contradiction in your position.
See how he says that? Instead of having a conversation, he starts now asserting that he's right and I'm wrong.
True.
Which is obnoxious, and
Yeah.
I do point that out quite
Yeah.
soon here. Fucking piece of shit human being. And I don't mind saying that. I don't give a fuck what you say about Jesus Christ. You're a fucking piece of shit human being if that's how you engage with someone. Your apologetics belong up your ass. All you're doing is creating atheists. All you're doing is creating atheists. You should have a fucking conversation respectfully. If you can't do it, you're doing no good to anyone. You're not doing any good to Christianity whatsoever. But anyways, this is what got me upset.
Why do you have to be condescending? Why can't you just say, this is where I see a contradiction in your argument, but maybe I'm wrong, or let me try to explain it to you.
All you have at a certain point is assertions. So it's an attempt to like.
But that's what he's
dom
accusing
someone
you
else.
of, ironically enough.
Because he's fundamentally irrational. You can't convince someone of anything. So of course this is all you do. And you could sit there like me and HHS all day long going like, no, yeah. And like this is what it turns into. It's the essence of fundamentalism. Whether it's atheistic or whatever, it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
Same mentality with all these people. Although I will give some atheists credit that they would say like, okay, I respect reason.
True.
But I have not found that among these so-called apologists. They're atheist. Like they're doing better job than Dillahunty.
Yeah. They make Christianity look
Anyone can
completely
tell like,
unreasonable.
that's obnoxious. You're being obnoxious. Social skills apply.
Yeah, it's true.
He's got this book for free. Guess why? It's free. the way to fucking kill it in apologetics, right?
Yeah.
It's an offense to God from beginning to end. It is blasphemy from beginning to end. If this is what you think encountering a non-Christian or someone of a different faith is supposed to look like. It is atheist factory. That's what I'm going to call it. The devil's handbook. How to drive anyone who might be interested in Christianity to immediately embrace atheism. And you need to stop fucking doing it. I don't care how many fucking fern plants you have behind you, or what you dress like, or how meager you look, whatever. You're fat, ugly, and stupid.
Toxic Angel, by the way, these are Protestants. They're not Mormons. I mean, yeah.
If disagreeing with these guys is atheist, then I'm atheistic. Because this God sucks a dick. But anyways, go ahead. It's the devil. I hate the devil. The devil tells you to do this kind of thing.
Where's the blasphemy? I don't see it. The blasphemy is being an asshole and saying, oh, well, God wants me to act like this.
It is blasphemy to use religious language to promote demonic thinking.
Yeah,
blasphemy.
True.
You're using your position. You are intuiting.
Assholes for Jesus is not a phrase that makes sense.
No, right.
Jesus was never an asshole, never did this, always encountered people with respect. He would at times tell people what's up.
Yeah.
Because he was divine.
Yeah.
But he never did this routine of just saying, I don't respect your reason. Never.
Right.
Let's try and maybe we can get at this from another angle so you can see the contradiction in your position. You are intuiting, you're using your intuition in order to analyze your own intuition and conclude that it is reliable. You're using your intuition to do that.
In some sense, I guess you could say, yeah, intuition is that. So you have to have intuition about your intuition. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what I'm asking you, if that's what you're saying, because that is viciously circular. Because I'm going to ask you, the next question I'm going to ask you is, why do you think your intuition is a valid truth-seeking faculty? Do you see the problem? You have got nothing.
You're saying your intuition, you're saying to me your intuition is intuitive. Of course. That's what intuition
is.
No,
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm doing is
it's nothing circular about saying my intuition is intuitive.
That's not what I'm saying, and you actually just completely changed what I was saying. I don't know if you did it on purpose, because I asked you a question. You did agree with it. What I asked you was, are you using your intuition to justify?
Okay. Let's see if we can go into this. Do we have an intuition that our intuition is reliable? I mean,
I would say, that's kind of like endless. Like, do you have an intuition that your intuition is reliable?
yeah, I really think that's...
You kind of have to end it at intuition. It's just...
It's the nature of intuition that you find it reliable. That is what intuition is.
Yeah.
It's a reliable, though unproven... I think if you look it up, it's like...
A thing that one knows or considers likely from instinctive feeling rather than conscious reasoning. Or the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning.
Like when you say a woman's intuition, okay, you can kind of read that someone's lying.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you may not have evidence.
Than a man. Precisely because you are born a liar. But that's true. But the benefit of it is you have the intuition. When you could smell a liar quicker than a man because you are one.
True.
Okay. Now, you may be wrong sometimes with an intuition like that because that's a judgment based on limited knowledge.
Yeah.
But these basic intuitions, you don't... Like, if you say to a kid, it's fun to do this with kids. If you say to a kid, like, how do you know you're not dreaming? They'll just be like, well, because when I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming, and then I wake up. And if you say to them, but what if you're sleeping all the time and you just haven't woken up from that?
Right.
Because there are dreams within dreams.
Right.
Right. And they're just like, I don't know. Anyways, I got to go. Right. And they're right to say that.
Yeah.
I got to go.
There are basic things you have to assume to function. And if you don't assume them, I don't know what you
I remember there was this guy, this huge fat guy. His name was Rico. And he went to my dad's church. And he was one of these guys who like worked in the public school system. But he was like one of these, have you ever thought about this, right? And he went to this cuckoo clock church. He also ate one meal a day at an all-you-can-eat buffet. And he was fat as fuck.
Yes.
No, he ate like he said he ate once every 3 days. And he would eat to the point of, he was fat.
That's crazy.
But anyways, I remember him saying like, see this table? You think it's solid, but it's actually not. Because, like physics-wise, like there's actually, it's not as solid as you think. And that did make me think, like, really, it, like, because the cells that make, or whatever, the atoms that make up a table are largely empty.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So we do have a kind of, like, there's a way in which that's true.
Yeah.
And it's not intuitive what he's saying. It's not intuitive that this actually is mostly, like, 99.99999% is, like, empty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or, like, the idea, like, I remember telling you this once, like, air is a thing. And you're like, no, it isn't. It's, like, not, it's where there aren't things. And
right.
I'm like, well, what is this pushing against you?
Right,
like,
I remember that,
wind.
yeah.
I may have farted on you or something to make my scientific point. But
yeah, you
will like, that can be corrected in children where you say, like, it's actually kind of like a liquid.
Yeah, right.
Because you put your hand out the window going 60 miles an hour. It's not nothing.
Right.
It's something that pushes up against you.
Yeah.
So, but those things are like sort of childish intuitions. But that you exist is no different when you're 4 years old than 40 years old.
Yeah, that's true.
Only like when they get into like Hinduism and stuff, like there are crazy philosophies that can make you say like, maybe I don't exist. Usually for people who are stoners or like losing it,
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just part of a big blah, right? Like someone like Jim Carrey gets into that when he takes enough drugs and explores enough. Right?
We're
all just part of a big something.
Like this, something like object permanence. Things still exist even when we can't see them. That's an intuition. We don't know that.
Yeah, you can do this thing. Scientists will do this thing of saying like, okay, Grace, you're your body, right? Science teacher will do this.
Yeah.
Well, do you know that every cell in your body, like, here, show me a picture of 5-year-old Grace, right?
Right.
Every cell of your body, 5 years old, has been replaced by new cells.
Right. Right.
Which is true.
Right.
Except your asshole, which remains
clenched.
exactly what it was. But that is true. Every hair on your head is new, whatever, right? Like we're slowly regenerating all the time.
Every
so how do you
7
say
years.
There's continuity of identity.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So okay.
So these are just things you have to assume. You have to intuit that they're true. I don't know about moral, but like cognitive intuitions. If something happens,
Fairness, basic fairness. When you bring Tyrone in, he doesn't say, "Well, I don't see why some people can't just take other people's stuff."
Yeah.
He will intuitively say, "I didn't realize it was his."
Right.
Right?
But this guy is asking you to prove. He's asking you to basically you're saying like something like an example like a person or object is the same thing over time even if it changes. That's a basic intuition that everybody has that cannot be justified really.
Well, I only do one with him, which is existence itself.
Existence. And he's saying, "Well, prove it or justify it or explain it." It's like, "Well, no,
Yeah.
the point is it's unexplainable."
Trust in your intuition.
There are some things that you can't justify. That's what I'm saying. Intuition is one of them by its nature.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's a conclusion about your intuition. I'm going to tell you where I'm going with this because
Sure,
hopefully you can see
it might be a different approach to take because I don't think we're getting anywhere, but I just don't see
I think we've actually gotten there, but I want to show you where we've gotten to. So you started out by saying that the presuppositionalist is
very
guilty
obnoxious
of circular reasoning, and you implied or stated, I don't remember, that was fallacious. But what we've now...
First of all, can I say, like, that's not true. I did not say that. I didn't say presuppositionalists are guilty of circular reason. I simply said, I'm sure you've heard this. It's what first comes up on a thing is the criticism is that there's circular reasoning.
Right.
Because you're not willing to go deeper than the Bible is the Word of God.
Right.
Right before I got on, he was talking to another guy, and he said, this other guy was saying, I'm exploring Christianity. Okay?
Yeah.
And this Joel guy said, well, let me caution you, because he was saying, I have a Catholic friend, and I've looked into Eastern Orthodoxy. And he said, well, let me caution you not to look into Eastern Orthodoxy or Catholicism, because they don't hold to sola scriptura, which they don't. Guess what also doesn't hold to sola scriptura?
Protestantism.
The Bible.
The Bible.
The Bible.
Yeah.
There's nowhere in the Bible where it ever comes anywhere near saying anything about the Bible. Of course, because the Bible didn't exist until all the books were written. There's no commentary on the Bible.
Right.
In the Bible.
Right.
But it uses terms like scripture is good and things like that. And of course, the other problem is
who chose
the Bible
the books?
Wouldn't exist without the church that put it together.
Right.
So, okay, so it is Protestants who have this problem, but I guess they're trying to invert it on Catholics who say you have to justify the intuition of existence. But anyways, what I'm saying is like, so whatever, you can say that's not true of presuppositionalism. I didn't accuse or say presuppositionalists are guilty of that.
No.
But they're so fucking fragile.
True.
Because
you didn't accuse them.
You know that I just said it. I said it casually.
You said, "I'm sure you've heard
this.
about this, or you've heard this criticism."
But they're so obsessed now with showing that I'm exhibiting circular reason by simply saying that there are some things that there's no reasoning about at all.
Yeah,
it's not circular reasoning.
Right.
It's just intuitive.
Right.
And he doesn't. He doesn't offer any counterexamples. He doesn't offer any way in which that's not true.
No.
Or how Christianity informs. How does a Christian worldview in any way have anything to do with your intuition of existence? There's nothing in the Bible that talks about that. It's not on the table.
Yeah. The Bible also presupposes the Bible presupposes many things. Yeah.
It doesn't say the 10 Commandments and also like here's how there's a right and wrong. It just presupposes
True.
What all children think and then goes from there.
Yeah.
Is.
Right. And what we've now right in the sense that that's your position. But
no, in the sense that circular reasoning is fallacious.
Pause for a second because I can come back and talk about my position, but we're internally critiquing.
I'm
the
not saying
position.
your position is circular, but circular reasoning
Okay,
is
go with me.
fallacious.
Hold on. Ben,
He's just not listening.
Yeah.
in your position, you have stated that you believe circular reasoning is fallacious. I'm not. That's not.
No,
that's a
I know
state-
it is. Of course.
Okay, Ben. I'm simply stating your position. Okay, I'm not making
Circular
an analysis
reasoning
of it,
is a fallacy.
Yes.
but I'm
He
stating
should agree with you.
your position.
You can call it
Okay,
my
go-
position, but
It's just a statement of fact. It's like saying 1 + 1
saying the
equals 2.
Bible is true because God. The classic circular reasoning is the Bible is true because God wrote it.
Right.
How do I know God wrote it? Because the Bible says.
Yeah.
That is 100% circular reasoning.
It's circular.
That's not an intuition. See, the intuition stays in one place.
Yep.
Grace, the Bible is true. All right, I'm teaching you.
Why is the Bible true?
This book is true
Why is it true?
because God wrote it.
How do you know God wrote it?
Because it says so.
Yeah, that's completely, yeah.
You get how that
I
is.
do get how that, yeah, that's crazy.
Even
That's
a child
crazy
can say,
work.
well, that's kind of
Whoa.
just saying the same thing
Yeah.
while seeming to follow a thread.
Right.
That's why you find it funny because it kind of could seem like you're making a point, but then you intuit like, that's not a point.
Right.
Could say that about anything.
Right.
With me on this. But then, when it comes down to your epistemological foundation, it is justified in a circular way.
No,
Because you are-
nothing justifies it other than itself.
That's-
Intuition.
that is circular. I'm going to restate what you just said. I'm going to repeat it word for word. Nothing justifies it except for itself.
Right.
That is viciously circular reasoning.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't. It's hard to explain why. It's like the difference between a circle and a point with an arrow coming off of it. The point is necessary for the line to begin. Circle just keeps going around and round and round and round and round.
Yeah, if you make a science experiment that just proves something that everyone already knows, that's like a kind of circular experiment.
Why would that be circular?
Because it's not an experiment really unless there's a hypothesis that can be disproven.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So if it's just pointing out something that's already known through like a complicated math problem that just really says 1 = 1. It's not a math. 1 = 1, you could say x² + y² equals, and it ends up being 1 = 1, and therefore you prove the law of identity. It's
Yeah.
not a math problem, it's just retarded. Unless the x's and y's stand for something.
Yeah.
And then if it's not an experiment, unless you say like, if x² + y², if x is the speed, the y is the mass, okay, let's put it into action. Does this math problem work out?
Right.
There was a thing we were watching briefly where a guy was saying that he created a vehicle which, when the wind was behind it, could go faster than the wind without any motor.
Yeah.
And there was a controversy because like there was a famous professor who said no way it can go faster than the wind.
Right.
And so they did math problems about it, and the professor guy was like, no, it's no way. And so the other guy bet him $10,000, and the math professor paid him, which would never happen on the internet, paid him $10,000 because he proved him wrong
True. Yeah.
by doing the experiment.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not circular.
No.
But saying, I don't know. There are various things that are
I
circular.
guess
It's
you
just
could
really
say,
a way of saying the same thing.
why
over
do
and
you
over.
believe that? Why do you believe that you exist? Because I believe that I exist. It's not
You
circular.
could look up examples of circular reasoning. But fundamental intuitions or assumptions are not circular. There's no circle. They're just a dot.
Exactly.
Then you're saying they're a dot. And if someone says, well, how do you prove that? You just say, you can't.
Circular reasoning, logical error. Circular reasoning is something that happens when a claim is proved using the claim itself. A is true because B is true. B is true because A is true. The Bible, this is the first example. The Bible is true because God wrote it. We know God exists because the Bible says so. I'm trustworthy because I always tell the truth. I always tell the truth because I'm trustworthy. Fundamental intuitions are not conclusions, they are starting points. For example, reality exists. My perceptions roughly correspond to something real. Contradictions can't both be true. Cause and effect exist. Other minds exist.
Yeah.
These are not proven by logic. They make logic possible. Fundamental intuitions are not trying to prove themselves. They are axioms, not arguments. For example, you can't prove logic without using logic. Is that circular? Yes, but it's not a fallacy. It's unavoidable. This is called epistemic grounding or axiomatic necessity, not circular reasoning. The key difference in one sentence. Circular reasoning is a bad argument pretending to justify a claim. Fundamental intuition is a necessary starting point that makes justification possible at all. Here's an analogy. Circular reasoning is like trying to support a building by stacking bricks in a loop with no foundation. Fundamental intuitions are like the ground the building rests on. You don't prove the ground, you stand on it.
Right.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
What were you accusing the presuppositionalist?
Dashed in the chat. I never had to read the Bible to encounter Jesus and his four-faced cherubim being I never knew existed to believe it, period.
Dashton.
Yes, Queen.
Love it.
We love you, Dashton. How are you doing? Also,
That
Jeremy.
made more sense than anything these people have said in their entire lives or ever will say in their entire lives.
Also, Jeremy is being discharged from the hospital currently. He updated his Discord, so. But he also contacted OPC, so.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Dove again?
I wasn't accusing. I was just saying that is the. I'm not that familiar with it, but that from just my little reading that's the critique, because you'll say something. It's something like the Bible is true because the Bible works, or something like that. A biblical system works, or something like that. That would be the cartoon version of it.
Nothing justifies it except for itself. Those are your exact words that I'm repeating to you verbatim. Nothing justifies it except for itself.
But
I think that is actually, you wouldn't say that. You would just say it is justification. It is necessary.
Yeah,
it's necessary.
This is word games.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Bible is not like what I'm saying is like this guy, Joel, set a case.
Yeah.
Could ChatGPT this? ChatGPT is not Catholic. Okay, and it will tell you the difference between these two things. There's ChatGPT, which I love, by the way.
Yeah, very helpful.
Because it is not biased, unless you ask it to show you, like, what a Palestinian, make an argument for Palestinianism. They've got their little... Anyways.
Whoopsie.
Ask him if the Nakba was a great thing. I think it will say, yeah. But I have a gun to my head. Anyways, they're trying to take it over, which is amazing because that's what they're doing now with Hasbara. They're attacking what they call whatever ChatGPT is. It has an acronym,
LOSS or something, large operating system.
Just like they used to do it with Wikipedia.
Yeah.
They did it with Wikipedia. So it's amazing, though, to say, like, okay, so you're going to rig this. You're going to rig this kind of thing that we look to as, like, just unbiased, to be biased in ways that are ludicrous.
Yeah.
And think that we're not going to catch on. The Goy are so stupid. You know, one of these days I'm going to be on one of these stages.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do my Goy, like, from the mountains, from the icy mountains, we will rain down blood upon your heads, right? And I think it'll be a world-changing moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We will only stand in our icy lairs staring at this nonsense for so long, and we will come crashing down from our mountains, from our cities that we've built over centuries, and tolerated you living in, we will come crashing down upon your necks.
It either
anti-Semitic. You goddamn right it is.
either you get a standing ovation or you go to jail.
I mean, Grace can go right. Intuition. So it doesn't.
Oh,
it's
so
like viral.
so circular
Bible
reasoning
is not
only
an.
okay.
We better get on that boat and stay on it.
True. But
then we'll get droned.
The ADL will personally send out agents.
Not an intuition. So it doesn't.
Oh,
like,
so circular
the Bible
reasoning
is not an
only okay.
intuition.
So circular reasoning is okay.
We gotta make it to
when
Iran
you're doing it
before
to
they get
justify
us.
your epistemological standard. It's just not okay for me.
Tel Aviv here. No.
The
Te-
Iranians will probably be like, "Fuck you, dude."
Tehran, here we come.
Sign.
What about the Russians? Would Putin take us after that?
It's hard to sail to Russia.
Oh, that's true.
Crimea.
We gotta make it to Iran.
It's Iran or bust.
Best
bitch.
IRL stream ever. We need donos in. What currency are we
trying to
in?
make a sail out of an Israeli flag, like Red Cross, peaceful. Well, can you just engage? Like I understand you're trying to do something, but can you just engage in the question of what does justify our belief that we exist other than our intuition?
Okay. What I wanted to do.
Does anyone have an answer?
Yes, of course. What we're doing right now is we're doing an internal critique of your position. I'm not.
Oh my god, dude. Just answer the fucking question. Try to answer it. You'll realize there is no justification except your intuition that we exist.
Being obtuse. I'm not avoiding the question.
Yes, you are.
I'm showing you that your own position devolves into the very thing you were accusing us of doing.
Oh my god. Get off of the accusation thing. He just said some people accuse you guys of doing this stuff. I'm sure you've heard it before.
You're trying to, but you're failing.
You said word for word, nothing justifies it except for itself.
This is not a Catholic position. There's no internal critique. It's just an intuition that we all share.
I'm not speaking to the Pope. I'm speaking to Ben Thorpe.
Well, there's nothing internal to saying we intuit. We all intuit. It's common sense. No one disagrees with it.
This is an interesting thing in chat. Redwine says, evidentialist, quote, we can observe the universe and know there's a God. Classical, quote, we can reason and know that there's a God. Presuppositionalist, quote, we can only know anything because there's a God.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make any sense because how do you know there's a God in the first place? That would mean that you know something before God.
Let's say mystic, we can only know God because of the Holy Spirit helping us in ways we don't see.
Sure.
True.
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
So, in that sense, I agree.
Yeah. But if you take, the precept quote there doesn't make any sense.
We can only do any of this because there's a God, in the sense that God created all things. Okay.
Sure. Right.
But epistemologically, how does one come to know something? That's crazy, obviously.
Yeah.
It's such a dead end. It's such an obvious dead end, right?
Yeah.
That we exist, though we can't really prove it beyond the intuition.
So by saying no one disagrees with this, what you're trying to do is you're trying to broaden and generalize it out.
Well, try to tell me someone who doesn't.
That's completely irrelevant to the fact that
it would be very relevant if no human being on earth
you hold
has an alternate position.
This is the position that you hold, and according to your own words, nothing justifies it except for itself. So
it's not even a position to hold. It's obvious.
That's your position. Now let's move to what I would consider to be the presuppositional biblical position, which is this: when you start with God's word as the foundation, logical foundation, and when you start with God as the metaphysical or the ontological foundation, you get your truth-seeking faculties.
That is so crazy to say. Wouldn't you have to have truth-seeking?
Look at this guy's. Honestly, look at these guys' eyes. There's something super wrong with his eyes.
Get intuition.
They're like blue.
His?
Yeah, look at his eyes. He must go tanning with those little glasses on because around his eyes
I
it's like
see.
gray, and then
That
he
is
has
true.
very red skin around it. It looks crazy.
I don't see very red skin, but I do see tanner skin.
A totally different skin tone.
I do see that.
I've seen people with like dark around their eyes. I have a little dark around my eyes.
Yeah.
Never like light gray, almost like makeup.
Yeah. It's true.
I've never seen that.
But what he just said there was completely irrational. You only get truth-seeking capabilities when faculties. When you accept the Bible as your logical foundation and God as your metaphysical foundation.
That's so obviously not true.
Wouldn't you need truth-seeking faculties to accept God and the Bible as those foundations in the first place? Let's say if you had never heard of them before.
Right, but it's so obviously true if you say, I was born again. I'm a born again Christian. Or even like I was baptized. So therefore I figured out I have new intuitions? No. Same intuitions.
Right.
You don't gain any intuitions.
Right, no.
From accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. You don't gain, it doesn't affect your belief that you exist. It may affect that's more meaningful to you, but it doesn't affect whether you now think contradictions make sense or...
I mean, you might have it wouldn't be an intuition though, but you might have more of a sense of the Holy Spirit or something.
We would say it's a boost. Yeah, it's a boost to it strengthens your reason.
Yeah.
But to say it begins the use of your reason is just absurd. Because like you said, it involves reason to accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. You have to know what that means, which is not super obvious. You'd have to,
Yeah. Dashton says, I see spirits through others, duh, and visions is the only way to encounter Christ. I got evidence recorded on here, duh.
Yes, Dashton. That is the proper theology.
I always do it for free, duh. By the way, a Jeremy update. That's a bit loud. Jeremy is going to homeless shelter for the night because he doesn't have his ID with him. So, there you go. All right, let's continue.
You get
existence from maybe OPC could work out so he can at least get him his ID back. Because
Perhaps.
Didn't you see his wallet in the car?
I did, yeah. It was over at the edge of the passenger seat.
So OPC must not be with the car.
No way. No, he said he wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your truth-seeking faculties. You get intuition. You get
intuition. He just said if you accept God as the foundation for metaphysics, you get intuition.
I make this point, Grace. Go ahead. Existence from reading the Bible?
Yes, of course. You
come into existence when you read the Bible.
No, I thought you meant do you get belief in existence?
When do you come into? In what way do you come into existence?
I came into existence.
I missed
conception.
That.
Is that
okay? I should have said you have an experience of existence.
Yeah, or an intuition that you exist. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Okay. So does that have anything to do with the Bible?
We're talking about justification of beliefs, not conception.
Well, you experienced self-awareness at some point. You're saying that had to do with the Bible?
Ben, try to follow me here. We're talking about how you justify your beliefs.
I'm asking you a simple question. Do you have the intuition that you exist?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I have.
Is that anything other than an intuition?
The intuition is not anything other than an intuition. That's definition.
Okay, perfect. So then he got himself there.
Wait. Wait. Hold on. Let me go back and listen.
Is that anything other than an intuition exist?
Yes.
Wait, okay, sorry.
I'm asking you a simple question. Do you have the intuition that you exist?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I have.
Is that anything other than an intuition?
The intuition is not anything other than an intuition. That's definition.
Okay, perfect.
That's definitional. That's what you were just spent, I don't know, 5-10 minutes
It's got nothing
talking
to do
about.
with the Bible.
And intuition is nothing other than an intuition by definition. Right.
You don't have to justify it. It has nothing to do with the Bible.
Right.
Nothing to do with the Bible.
Right.
So then you agree?
No, because intuition is not foundational. What you're doing is you're assuming that I hold your definition that intuition is foundational. I obviously don't.
It's not foundational to reading the Bible to believe that you exist and that you are, in fact, you are interacting with the book.
Ben, try to track with me here.
That's obviously true. You can't read the Bible if there's no you.
Right.
The Bible.
Right. If you don't,
the Bible doesn't address that. It just assumes.
Yeah.
That someone is reading this. It doesn't address it by saying
no.
Okay, well, let's get this clear first.
The Bible assumes
you
the same things that
you just found that out.
Right.
You didn't have this intuition previously. You got it from reading this book.
Right.
It doesn't say that because that would be stupid to say.
Right.
And everyone would have thrown out the Bible a long time ago if it ever said anything as stupid as what this guy Joel Sedecase is saying.
He doesn't actually believe
it's
this, though.
Stupid.
Yeah.
No, it's retarded.
Yeah.
What justifies your faith in your intuition as a reliable truth-seeking faculty? For you, it's just simply a self-justifying circular...
For you too. You just said for you too.
No.
It's just an intuition. You just said that.
No.
You just said that, Joel. Guys, can you help me out here? Did he not just say that?
Is it intuitive to the Hindu who doesn't know they exist?
The Hindu doesn't know he exists?
No. No, the Buddhist does not, actually. The
okay.
Hindu doesn't either.
One of
That's
them.
true. No, that's true. The
Yeah,
Hindu
they do.
doesn't either.
Sure. Go to any Hindu kid, any Buddhist kid, and say, "What's your
That's
name?"
part of their worldview.
They'll answer it.
Part
they
of
know
their
they
worldview
exist.
is that
I understand that there are things that they try to do way later in metaphysics that question that. But if you ask any kid in India or China where Buddhism and Hinduism, whether they exist, they'll say, "Yeah, sure. My name is whatever, Shranji Pajit."
That's really interesting.
They have... That's a pretty good name.
Low-key, I want to add that to the soundboard. Can we run that back?
Shranji
Shranji Panji?
I think there's a guy or two. It's like Bill
Panji.
Johnson, isn't it? Shranji Panji. It sounds like in that country is like Bill Johnson. Bob. We're Buddhism and Hinduism. Whether they exist, they'll say, "Yeah, sure. My name is whatever, Shranji Pajit."
Shranji Pajit. Nice.
That's really interesting.
They have that intuition. That intuition can be.
That's not what Hinduism teaches. So, again, here's the argument.
Whose kid is screaming?
But before they're Hindus, they're
Ben,
people, and they have self-awareness.
What you're doing is you're assuming that your worldview is correct, and you're trying to impose it on hypothetical people. That aren't
So is he saying, like,
Um,
in India, they don't say, like, we have 12 students in this classroom. They just say there are 0 students in this classroom because they're Hindus?
Yep.
And anyways, Hindus don't think that whole thing about, like, maybe you don't exist is Buddhist.
That's Buddhism, yeah.
And the vast majority of Buddhists don't hold that.
Yeah.
So if you ask a Buddhist, if you go to Chinatown and go, "Do you exist?" They go, "Yeah, obviously." How many people live here? Whatever, 143 in this apartment building. They don't go, "Well, actually 0."
I mean, it is true that, like, Hinduism has, like, the illusion of the world. So the body, mind, and material world are temporary and illusory.
In some schools.
In some schools. Okay, but still, I'm sorry, but they don't really believe that. They believe they exist.
Yeah.
The question is if
So you told me about hypothetical.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was you talking. I'm getting confused. Which dad?
I asked you guys, and the only person who answered was you, and you answered
intuition. And intuition is intuition. But I never said intuition is my epistemological foundation. You said that. I would never say that. Intuition
on what
is not my
basis do you think you
epistemological
exist?
foundation. Intuition is
On what
a
basis do
truth-seeking
you think you
faculty.
exist?
Hold on, Mark. Hold on, Ben. Give me a second. Sometimes I have thoughts that I need to a couple of sentences to express.
Go ahead.
All right, it does happen. So, intuition is a truth-seeking faculty that I believe.
Intuition is not a truth-seeking faculty.
I do think it's part of reason.
Yeah, but I don't know how to say it. It's not really a truth-seeking faculty. I guess you could say it that way, but it's more like...
These intuitions, there's not really much you can do with them in terms of faculties. You can't really educate your basic intuitions, but other intuitions you can educate. Your sense of people, reading people, social skills.
I guess that's true.
Largely intuitive. How to use verbal, see me? Facial expressions, you educate by learning.
Yeah.
But
I
the
guess
most basic intuitions, it's like learning how to have your heart beat. You know what I mean? There is a faculty of the brain. I don't think it's of the soul that regulates your heartbeat.
Your breathing.
Breathing can be somewhat controlled.
Yeah.
Heartbeat can be regulated to some degree by like physiological training.
Yeah.
But like puberty it's not really like
chosen.
It just happens.
Yeah.
Because I have a logically prior belief that the Bible is true. So I believe in.
Okay, I just can't believe that.
I know you can't, but you've already seen that the only thing justifying your intuition.
Rewind it so that you hear.
Okay, I want to hear his whole cope.
Super crazy.
Let me hear it.
Intuition is to express.
Go ahead.
All right, it does happen. So, intuition is.
Hold on, I just want to write this down. I actually want to write this down and put it into ChatGPT to test the logic.
No, but let it flow because I.
Intuition is
is a truth-seeking faculty that I believe in because I have a logically prior belief that the Bible is true. So I believe in.
Okay, I just can't believe that.
I know you can't, but you've already seen that the only thing justifying your intuition is itself. So
wait a second. You're saying the only reason you believe you exist is because of the Bible?
Your incredulity is not an argument. Hang with me, Ben. The reason we're talking about epistemological justification, the reason why we can justify our belief in our truth-seeking faculties as reliable, the reason why we believe in something like the self and its duration over time, the reason why we can even do the cogito, which says I think, therefore I am, which, by the way, is a rationalistic argument, not an existential or intuitive argument.
It's not a Christian argument. Yeah, we don't do cogito ergo sum.
Who doesn't? Christians?
Cogito ergo sum is from the first meditations, I think, of René Descartes.
I think, therefore I am.
That's not how we would see it. It's not because we think that we conclude that we exist.
Okay. I put his statement into ChatGPT. Okay, so your statement, intuition is a truth-seeking faculty that I believe in because I have a logically prior belief that the Bible is true. This means you accept the Bible is true at a foundational level, and because the Bible is true, you trust intuition as a way to access truth. Is this logical?
But wait. Why would you trust intuition? Because of the Bible. Wouldn't you not trust intuition?
What
the Bible doesn't teach you to trust intuition. It teaches, this mentality teaches you to trust the Bible.
That's true.
Not intuition.
That is true. Is it logically possible? Yes. You can define a belief hierarchy like this. Axiom, the Bible is true. Derived belief, human intuition is reliable because God designed it. This is logically consistent as a worldview. Many philosophical systems work this way. Rationalism, reason is reliable. Empiricism, senses are reliable. Islam, the Quran is true. Naturalism, nature is all that exists.
It's consistent, but it's not rational.
The structure is coherent. Is it circular reasoning? It depends on what you claim. If you say, I start from the Bible as a foundational axiom, from that axiom I interpret intuition, this is foundationalism. Okay.
I don't think ChatGPT kind of gets this. It's not. It's not programmed to understand this level of philosophy.
Oh, okay. Okay. Still, though.
You could say it's consistent to start with, I believe the Quran is true, and then go from there. That's true. But it's not consistent with reason to say that if something in the Quran appears to be not true, that the Quran is right and reason is wrong.
Okay.
That's fine, but you're talking about intuiting that you exist, and so you're trying to use your own existence.
That's
as,
not Descartes.
as a
Descartes didn't do
kind
that.
of foundation, and I'm obviously not Cartesian either. But the reason, but even the cogito presupposes laws of logic which need to be justified and are justified by the Christian worldview. So if you want to make an appeal to your own intuition, you need to be able to justify your belief in your intuition. And what you've said is nothing justifies it except itself. That is viciously circular. Anytime we reason about epistemological foundations, there's going to be circularity. The question is it a vicious circle as yours is, or is it a virtuous circle which encompasses all reality? And when you start with God and his revelation in scripture, guess what? You get reliable truth-seeking faculties. You also get your own existence, the duration of the self over time, the laws of logic, the reality of the external world, the reliability of your moral intuitions.
I understand those things. Yes, I understand those things
okay. So you
are
understand
implicit in the scriptures in a unique way in Christianity.
Yes,
I agree.
They're justified by the Christian worldview. So
They're not justified, but they're
yes,
implied.
no, they're justified by the Christian worldview. That's what what we do. Yes, you need to stick around a little longer, Ben, because that's what we do is we justify our beliefs in these tenets.
You have an intuition
hold on,
that there's
Ben,
a right and
Ben,
wrong.
a slight
Christianity
pause does not mean I'm done with my sentence.
Well,
It's just a
okay,
pause.
all right.
But I mean, at a certain point, he's just pontificating.
I made that point. Go ahead. I'm trying to engage, but I mean, you're just going on long monologues, which you're free to do.
Yeah, I mean, I let you go on long monologues too. It's okay. It's fine.
Not really.
If you
Not
if
sure
you have
you're
a
lying again, liar.
I think it's
I think it's
totally
boring.
fine. I love it.
Okay.
Anyway, so your intuition is justified by itself.
When did you go on a long monologue?
Mine is justified by the fact that God created me and he's revealed himself in his word. So which one's more Christian?
So what I'm saying is you said that your sense of your existence is an intuition. It's intuitive. Isn't that true? Then you can go to the Bible and say that this tells me a lot more about existence. I agree.
Justify
100%.
and justify the.
What do you mean by the word justify?
To justify is to give a reason for, an explanation for, to account for one's belief.
But what account are you going to give for your existence?
God created me. I'm a Christian.
But that's not just. You're saying that's.
But you actually have to believe. You have to intuit that you exist.
In order to read the Bible.
In order to read the Bible, but I'm saying specifically with him, if you say God created me, you have to say me exists first to say
make
that.
This point, Grace.
Same brain, same wave.
You think that's like a personality thing? You're saying like obviously.
Yeah, no,
Why you were created by God, but that's assuming that you were created by God, right?
Which is that it's not an assumption. It's not like an arbitrary assumption. It's a belief grounded in Scripture. In the beginning,
but what I'm saying is,
if we
go, like, I was created by God for a providential purpose according to His plan. I agree with that. But even just the word "I" assumes your existence, which you assume, like we all do.
You're getting closer.
Intuitively.
You're getting closer. Again, the question is, how do you justify your
There
intuition?
are some things that you can't go deeper than.
And intuition, the intuition of a fallible, finite human being for a Christian is not foundational.
Oh, okay. So are you a Calvinist?
Yes.
So then do you believe that reason has been completely trashed by sin?
I believe in total depravity in the sense that we are not as sinful as we could be, but I certainly don't believe that our reasoning is pristine.
Not what total depravity means.
That's not. We are not as
It means
sinful as
we
we
are
could
as we are as sinful as we could possibly be.
Yeah.
That's obviously what that means.
Right. Depravity. This guy, I think, is
Total
actually just
depravity
incoherent.
does not mean I don't think that we're as bad as we could be. It means we're as bad as we could be.
Yeah.
Obviously.
This guy's actually just totally incoherent.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
Unaffected by sin.
He may as well
And
just
I think a good argument against him should have been just look at yourself and look at the color of the skin around your eyes, and you can see that you are crazy. You're crazy. Mark's overweight. Alexander could lose a few pounds, but like nothing in their features speaks to utter insanity. But the area approximately 1 inch radius around your eyes clearly shows something crazy is going on. Makes no sense.
True.
You may have worn dark goggles while skiing on Settecase slopes, but you shouldn't have worn as dark goggles because it makes you look completely crazy. And I also think if you just take that tone of that skin right there and you put it up against a dead body, you would see an exact match. It does not look human.
Gray eyelids
have
means
that
he's
tone of skin.
gray alien. Thank you, Mason. Yes, agreed.
Alien. He looks like he has prepared for the role of looking like someone who is sort of human, but not really. And especially because our eyes are drawn to the eyes of others.
Yes.
It's truly disturbing.
The eyes are the windows to the soul, or lack thereof.
You could look at my eyes and go, this guy's tired, but human. You look at his eyes and you go, this guy is, ooh, I don't even know what.
You know, you got to keep in mind, like, this guy can wear like a blazer and have a background and stuff, but he may as well just be like a crackpot off the street talking about this stuff on some level. If he doesn't understand,
He might as well just put his head down, put his ass up, and talk in farts. That would make more sense than what he's saying.
I mean, he's saying that he's like, oh yeah,
That I think should be his new approach.
I believe in total depravity, which means that we are not sinning as much as we could be. What? It's kind of like you can intuit from the words what total depravity means to believe in. It means we are totally
And this
depraved.
is the Think Institute.
But it's so funny because
what's the Not Thinking So Much Institute look like?
This is the Thoughtless Institute. I mean, like, first of all, if you believe in total depravity, which it means basically we are so depraved that we could never understand anything good and certainly not God.
I think the picture behind him also is a cheesy picture of a sunset that is actually lit by a light bulb.
That's correct, yes. It is. I think so, yeah.
Crazy. Crazy. The other guys, I don't see crazy.
But you can't even get to the point where you say, well, why are you here on a panel discussing thoughts and ideas if you believe that we are so depraved and gross and ugly and sinful that we could never understand the truth?
No, but he actually doesn't think that's what Calvinism is. He thinks total depravity means we're not as bad. So anyways, he's just...
I know, so he's like,
anyways,
he's
just keep
3
rolling. There's
layers
no point
off.
talking about
That being said,
Yeah.
that being said, in general, it's reliable, and Scripture says we have the mind of Christ. So
okay.
if anyone is in Christ, we are.
Reason is
the old
reliable
is gone, behold, the new is come. Does that
doctrine
mean I
of
never make
Calvinism?
mistakes? No.
He's actually holding a position that Catholics don't hold. He's Pelagian. Reason is reliable. Depends what you mean by reason, but like human reason is inclined to error in and of itself. Hugely inclined to error. Look at what's going on in Israel.
Yeah.
Without Christ, it's horrendous. Look at the surveys of Israelis and what they think would be a good solution here. Crazy. It's not reasonable.
But I
Wait a
also
second.
test
I'm just saying.
Scripture.
If you say total depravity, you're saying partial depravity.
No.
Total
No,
speaking of the whole in general. It's not saying that you're completely sinful and lost, and you're as sinful as you could possibly be. It's just speaking of all of your being, like everything in creation.
Like you're
is
fundamentally
totally depraved.
ordered towards evil. I agree with that. That's the Catholic position also. But are you saying that
No, it's not.
reason has not been
No, it's not.
like so reason in the natural man can see that like it's a certain time, yellow is yellow, red, green. Yeah, of course, right?
Yeah, the man's so there are are you familiar with the term the noetic effects of sin?
I've heard that. I'm not exactly sure the definition. I just read something about that, but
Okay.
fill me in.
Yeah, no problem. Noetic has to do with noeo, the mind. And the noetic effects of sin are the effects of sin on one's reasoning. So yes, so this is you're familiar, I'm sure, with Romans chapter 1 verses 18 through 25, where it talks about how the man in his natural state suppresses the truth of God in unrighteousness. Okay,
But that he also knows it.
That's correct.
Right.
Yes, he knows, and so he's without excuse, but he suppresses the truth. It's not his
Yes.
man's problem is not ignorance, it's truth suppression.
Yeah, so one of the classic
self-delusion.
presuppositionalist versus Catholic things is that we believe that man, based on natural reason, can know that God exists and has an obligation to, apart from Scripture and revelation. Based on Paul.
That is the biblical position. That is the Calvinist position. Man is without excuse. That is the presuppositionalist position. That all men are without excuse due to God's revelation in the external world and even in the conscience.
Well, there
as well.
probably
That's
are
what
different.
Revelation-
There are
That's
probably
what Romans 1 and 2 teaches.
there are probably different versions of presuppositionalism, but I do believe that some versions hold that, in fact, well, that's called natural theology. That is the opposite of presuppositionalism, is to say that
General
we
and
can
special
reason to certain things without the aid of revelation.
No, presuppositionalists are
You
Calvinists.
just said you
at least
can't.
in general. I don't know any.
Wait, say that again? He just said you can't what? I'm having a hard
He
time
just
following.
said you can't. You don't have faculties of reason unless you're a believer. So now he's saying. I'm saying you can reason with natural faculties to the existence of God without the aid of the revelation. And he's saying, oh yeah, we believe that.
Oh, but
He just denied that.
right, he did just deny that. Yeah.
That aren't. And Calvinists believe that.
Oh,
man is
Eastern Orthodox.
completely and totally without excuse. Oh, that's true. You're right. Yeah, there are
There are even Catholic presuppositionalists.
Yeah,
from what I've heard.
you're right. You're right. I stand corrected on that. But no, the presuppositionalist says that man is completely and totally without excuse. That's why we reveal the man's culpability, and we reveal his truth suppression by asking questions. Like respectfully, that's what I was doing to you earlier when I showed that you were justifying your intuition by itself after accusing us of vicious
But
circularity.
you didn't do that. But that's okay. You could be wrong, but
I
I
didn't
understand
do
you
that.
think you did that.
I
The
didn't do
problem
that.
here is that like you might
no, I
be
did do
wrong.
that.
He didn't do that. He said that intuition is just intuition by definition. He agreed with you.
This is where it gets a little spicy. Let's run it through.
Okay.
Ben, you said nothing justifies it except for itself. Those were your words.
Yeah, that it's not a thing that it would be on the order of things that get justified. So you can say you justified it by repeating itself, but that's not actually what is meant.
Nothing justifies it except itself. That's what you said. So that means itself justifies itself. That's what you said. That's what.
We do have an hard out in about 7 minutes, by the way.
Okay. Hey, Ben, I really enjoyed this conversation, and I see that you have a channel Thorpe Tube on YouTube.
Yeah, I'd love to debate some. You guys are very
you been-
respectful.
Thank you. Have you been live streaming this on your channel as well?
No.
Okay. Well, stop back again sometime, Ben. It was an enjoyable conversation.
If any of you guys would ever like to debate a Catholic, I would be happy to do that. And I've been trying to, but a lot of debates between Catholics and Protestants end up, getting really, really, I don't know, crazy really quick. So you guys seem like the types who could, and I do have quite a large following.
How is this getting spicy?
No, I think it happened a little later.
Oh, okay.
So,
great.
anyways, consider it, and if you want to hit me up, I'll be happy to talk about these kind of things. I don't think we got very far, unfortunately, but
So Ben, I want to say this very respectfully. I I think we got a lot farther than you think. I say again, very respectfully.
Well, we didn't, but you say you did. But
Well, I
we
did.
didn't. We
I
obviously
reduced
didn't.
your argument to absurdity. That's what I was going for, and vindicated.
Yeah, a lot of
my own
Protestants
worldview.
are really very arrogant, and I think you're one of them. I find it
It's-
completely obnoxious.
Yes.
It's not.
It's disrespectful, and you should
Ben.
check out how logic works because you don't know how it works.
Ben, I say this with all due respect. What happened was a reductio ad absurdum. That's not.
No, it wasn't.
That's not.
Joel. I
that's
don't
not
care how many
arrogant
times
to
you
say
say
that.
it. It wasn't. You saying it a million times doesn't make it
You-
make one.
I can
Some
tell you're
things
getting
can't
heated.
be reduced any further.
Relax.
And if you say, well, how do you reduce them
Relax.
further? The answer is you don't reduce them further
Justifies
because
it.
they can't by nature be reduced
Justifies it
further.
except for itself.
And that's okay.
Well, hey, if that's what you intuit, nothing can justify your intuition except for itself. So we don't really have an argument anymore because nothing can justify it except for itself. I think you're possibly projecting arrogance onto me. I don't feel arrogance towards you.
Oh, now you're doing
Ooh.
psychology, right? Okay.
I'm stating. Well, you're the one
Great,
that called
Joel.
me arrogant. So
You are arrogant, and
Calling someone arrogant is
Well,
not.
let him go, please.
Okay, sorry.
Let me go.
obnoxious, and
happened.
you just repeat the same thing over and over again. It's totally obnoxious.
Ben,
And what you're doing by this
thanks
is you're
for joining, man.
creating.
Thank you.
Atheists. He couldn't deal with it. Fucking cocksucker.
Creating atheists. Boop. Well, I mean, he deserved that. I saw him do that the whole
He
time.
deserved 1,000 times more than that.
Agreed. Yeah. So,
I was willing. I was like, okay, we'll leave it on a high note because he did this whole, the one guy said we got 7 minutes. Okay, that's fine. And then he's like, okay, thanks for coming by. And it's like, okay, I'm going to be pleasant.
yeah.
Then he's like, in summarizing, I was right and you're wrong. Fuck you! Fuck you fucking loser!
True. Why did you have to do that?
You want me to really take the mask off? You want me to really put the fucking gloves on? I didn't even come close with you. Hit me up. I will fucking ruin you. I will wreck you. I will make you look like. I will make you look 10 times crazier than Jeremy out here. I will destroy you as a human being. Every fucking cell of your crazy body, every stupid synapse, it will get ruined, destroyed, mashed up. You will never recover. I guarantee it.
Yeah, absolutely. You would crush him.
Wrong,
It's not even hard.
boy.
I'm pointing out his logical fallacies.
I
Me.
did notice that the Medeiros guy was laughing at him quite a bit.
Was he?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think he thinks this guy's crazy.
Yeah, but I think he's like running the operation, so they have to like lick the boots or whatever. But
Whatever, there's only so much you can take this bullshit respectfully.
Fuck you. Take your respect and shove it up your fucking ass where all your other ideas and pieties belong. Up your fucking ass.
again, I say this with all due respect, Ben. It's so
Now,
passive aggressive.
bitch behavior.
Yeah.
It's got to stop.
Just
Got to be
say,
called out.
just say that.
Be fucking
I-
respectful.
Just say I won and you
You're
lost.
really
If that's what
angry.
you have to say.
I get it. We all get it. We can see from the shit around your eyes that you don't get laid by women ever. It's not my fucking fault. And this is not a place for you to lash out on behalf of Jesus and lie constantly either.
Yeah.
Don't lie. Be respectful. You don't know what you're talking about, obviously. It's okay. It doesn't mean you're necessarily wrong, but you do have to answer a basic question, and you didn't, and you failed.
No, he didn't.
And you watch, he won't allow Catholics on.
Well, he actually did answer the question, but his answer was that
No, he didn't. He answered it both ways.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying he
Doesn't
he
make any.
did
It doesn't make
agree
any
with
sense.
you.
Pre-suppers
After
should stick to
disagreeing.
atheism. When they encounter Catholics, they're going to get ruined because it's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, it's true. Stick to atheists. They don't make sense. So you can do this thing with them. You don't have a reason for believing in
But even
morality.
with the
I
atheists,
do. Therefore, I win.
But even with the atheists a lot of times will have, because he'll go Christian biblical worldview. There is no such thing. There's no such thing as a Christian worldview. There isn't. there are elements of a worldview, but like his worldview and my worldview are worlds apart.
True.
So to say like you don't have a worldview that's based on anything, yeah, they do. And these atheists should say it's based on intuition, just like yours.
True. They should.
Guided somewhat by your retarded reading of the Bible, and then you can ask them questions like, "Did the dinosaurs exist?" And they'll go, "No." And you'll go, "Okay, bye."
Yeah. True. That is true.
How old is the Earth?
It's a mind virus.
It's a mental illness.
Yeah.
You have to be careful. This is why the Catholic Church, though didn't put people to the stake, assisted in them being put to the stake. I approve. I approve. And we're going to need something similar to that. We can do it in a nicer way.
Yeah.
But we need to shut these fuckers up.
Yeah. True.
As a society.
Yeah.
Shut up, or you are going to be shut up forever. I don't mind cutting the tongue out of someone like that. Sure, give them plenty of opportunities to recant. But if you're going to do this, I want your tongue, just like Rachel said, pulled out and sliced in some way, shape, or form. We cannot tolerate people in the name of Christianity saying this bullshit. What have we been listening to from fuckers like this for now 100 years? Christian Zionism, Christian Zionism, Christian Zionism. It's not okay that we didn't point that out earlier and say, you shut your fucking mouth. That's got nothing to do with the Bible.
Yeah.
You're
True.
supporting a tyrannical government that hates Christianity to the core. You need to be called out. And when you get your jet from Bibi Netanyahu, we should call it out and spray paint it saying Bibi's jet.
Yeah.
Jew money.
Yeah. Israeli
Zionist money.
Zionist
paid for
money.
this jet.
Yep.
And meet them in their house of worship and say, we're going to stand out here and we are going to re-evangelize everyone coming out of this place and say, your pastor is a fake, loser, Zionist puppet.
True. True. Yeah. It's absolutely true.
You are a Catholic. You're in the jurisdiction. If you're baptized, you're in the jurisdiction of the Pope in Rome. You better get on your fucking knees and pledge your allegiance, mind and soul. This idiot in there is a liar and imposter.
That is true.
And when we hit him, they won't know what the fuck hit them.
Yeah.
Because they thought, oh, we're all in peace now. No, we're not. There are children dying in Gaza. There are dead bodies all over the Ukraine. I'm not okay with these Orthodox fuckholes and these Protestant losers saying, oh, okay, well, let's just shift over and hope you won't notice. You fucking failed. You're done. Protestantism is done. You did not police yourselves. Now we are going to police you. Hard.
Yeah.
We have enough people in this country to do it today. No more Protestantism on this land. No more. I am not watching my 4 sons die on some fucking shore because you people couldn't figure out what these snakes were doing to you.
Yeah.
And you didn't care and we didn't notice. We were sitting there going, hey, they're really on something. They've got these guitars. Fuck you! All you bishops who thought that. I want to go down to the UCCB and hold them to account. Fuck you guys.
It's awful.
Fuck you with COVID. Fuck you with the Protestants. Fuck you with the Zionism. Yes, you got the Zionism thing right, but you needed to correct your brothers in Christ. You needed to do it like fucking men, not like a bunch of homosexuals who couldn't figure out where their dick belonged. It belongs in your fucking pants for life. And if anyone takes it out who's wearing a collar, fucking hammer them. Don't beat around the bush. Let's fucking get real. You're going to be held to account.
True. Yeah.
And we're going to be held to account if we don't back you. But let's get our fucking acts together here, people.
Yeah. The Catholics in America are standing by as our Protestant brothers and sisters are funding a genocide.
Clinics open while you close down the parishes. Where are your fucking balls? Hang them! Hang them all!
True.
Hang them all. Every last one. Capital punishment. Hang them. All of them. Every last one of them.
It was a huge failure, yeah. Many, many failures. Christians are funding a genocide. It's true. Why hate on Protestantism?
Well, the church has been right about that. But that's only, you know what? The only reason that is because there are Catholics there. So it's it's part of the fam. Okay? Where were you on COVID?
Right.
Where were you on COVID? Nowhere. All the way to the top. Pope Francis should not be made a saint because of that. He bowed to the powers that be.
True, he
I
did.
cannot explain it.
Unfortunately.
The other guys, no problem. But the papal sainthood ends with him because of that. I'll go there. I'll be the
Devil's advocate
on that one. And they may need to have a Vatican III to resolve that, because they have not resolved it. I've gone around asking these fuckers, on what authority were the sacraments prohibited from the faithful? Not the whole you could stay at home part.
Right.
You can't do that. Our Lord said to Peter 3 times, feed my sheep.
Yeah.
And that's what the sacraments are. And you failed to do that.
Yeah.
And we need to have a worldwide convocation of bishops to say we will never do that again.
Yeah. The liquor store was open. The abortion clinic was open.
The weed dispensary was open. The abortion clinic was open.
But the church said...
churches were shut down.
No, we'll lock the doors.
People were denied the sacraments on their deathbed. Not usually, but like, you thought it was okay to do that?
Yeah.
You've got to now answer to Peter.
True. Yeah.
To our Lord. I'm sorry.
Are we done yet? Can we
Peter
send Ben to
can't
bed and
say,
just talk to Grace now? Red
he didn't say
tomato.
feed my sheep unless there's some bullshit lie going around. And even if it was true, you cannot deny the sacraments.
No.
Get your fucking F-slur ass out there. Put your fucking collar on. Say mass. And do not shut the fucking doors. If you lock the fucking doors, you are in judgment. And they did, some of them. Some of them didn't. I give them credit. But we should have bashed those fucking doors down as the lay faithful. Fuck you.
Sarah, thank you for the $10 super chat. By the way, Sarah says, are we done? Can we put Ben to bed yet? Can we get Grace to ourselves? Very lazy super chat, Sarah. I'm straight, by the way. But also, I don't know where you get the idea that you're going to get me to yourself. It is 3:15 a.m.,
This is like here, Grace's 11th hour of streaming.
It is 3:15 a.m., girl. It's time for bed.
I need some food, Grace.
Yeah, it's time for food and bed. But that was great. I wasn't sure, because honestly, when I saw the panel and you said like this was like ended in like insanity, I was like, no way. These guys have like good quality cameras and microphones. Like, this is a professional production on some level. And then seriously, I just sit here.
Right? It's like if you're gonna be a pleasant little F-slur, just be one and say that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Don't do this thing on behalf of God. And this whole respectfully. Oh, that goes up my ass like nothing else.
It's terrible.
That's what women do.
It's terrible, yeah.
When they're terrible women.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to leave.
Oh, that's okay. Bye. All right, thanks guys for watching the review.
Wrap it up quick. Bye.
I will. Thank you guys for watching the review. Thank you very much, Sarah, for the super chats. I didn't mean to be rude, by the way, when I said that. I'm sorry. I'm like very tired. I'm not even really making any sense at this point. So, yeah, Jeremy looks like he's out of the hospital. He's going to, as I posted in Discord. Let me see here. I don't know if Sarah's been following the Jer Bear discuss.
And you bore poor Grace to sleep. Look at her. Look at Hera. She's dying of boredom. RM trying to help the guys in the chat G's.
Do you like my TTS? I love it. Oh my god, it's so helpful. Hold on a second. It's gonna show this. Nope. Screen share. Yeah, this is what I wanted to share. Sarah, remember that guy, the simp? I don't know if it was you or someone else. Somebody paid me to tell him that I wasn't interested in him. I hate TTS. No. Okay, so just a quick update. That simp, who goes by Radio Foreman, but his name is Jeremy, he stayed in my car for about 38 hours until I called the cops and had him removed. He then asked to go to the hospital, and he left without his wallet, so he has no ID. It is 3:18 a.m. He just got out of the hospital. Nothing happened, obviously. And he's going to stay in a homeless shelter because another person I know online, named OPC Don, apparently had something to do with getting his car towed out of my parking lot, which I didn't even realize was happening until I saw the car wasn't there anymore. And we have no idea where the car is or really what Jeremy is doing. So hopefully he'll stream, but I doubt it. Anyways, what the fuck? Where do you find these people? Oh, Sarah. I ask myself that question all the time. People say, who's writing the script? And my answer is the big guy upstairs, because I don't have this level of power. People say, oh, Grace must have something special to make these guys fall in love with her or whatever, do all this crazy shit. And I do believe that's true in the sense, like, obviously I, as a entertainer, think I'm an entertaining, compelling person, but I really don't think I can really give myself all the credit with this. This is like sort of something that someone else is cooking up. You know what I mean? He's in the kitchen. He's got the pots on the stove. He's simmering. I'm just eating. I'm just eating what is being fed to me. You know what I mean? So, love you guys very much. Goodbye. See you later.